What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Between the Circles, presented by Nuke the House. I'm JC Zargo, here to break down today's NHL slate. Got a big one today. I'm tracking like 11 games, I believe. Yeah, 11 games. So a big one. Found some gems. Here, I don't necessarily go over every game. So if there's a specific one you want me to talk about, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll go over it. Looking through the slate, there's a handful of great games. I'm excited to get into it. Hello, Jonathan Nelson. How you doing today, man? Yeah, so last night couldn't catch the over in the Calgary, Florida game. That was disappointing. Man, I'm struggling with the totals this year. I don't play them too often in hockey, but when I do, they surely do not hit. So better at picking sides. And honestly, I kind of give you all permission to start fading me on the totals because I miss big. I think we had four total goals and with a 6.5 total. So wasn't great, but we'll jump into it. Got tons of plays today to make up for that 1L yesterday. And the first game on my slate is the Minnesota Wild visiting the Boston Bruins. So if you're in the Nuke the House Discord, I gave out the Penguins last night in the chat. It wasn't on the sheet. I just kind of late news with Raquel coming back, and so seeing that first line be reformed with Crosby, Gunsel, and Raquel, like that was the makings for a big game, and it was. Everyone in that organization's on the hot seat right now. Just so much talent. They're not playing well, but maybe with Raquel back in the net mix, they can get things going. So regardless, though, they picked up the win against the Wild. Now the Wild head to Pittsburgh. They head to Boston to play the Bruins. The Wild had won 3 in a row prior to last night, but despite scoring, they went down 3-0, put up 3, but still lost 4-3. Boston has not been playing great hockey after a dominant start to the season. They're 3-3 in their last 6, but they have 2 days off going into this game with Minnesota, who Minnesota is, of course, playing on a back-to-back. So certainly stacks in Boston's favor. Should be a smash spot here. When I was looking at the lines last night, I didn't have everything because I was really interested in doing something with the periods, because full game, obviously, Boston's a huge favorite. Not much value there. But now that we got, Boston plus 140 in the first period, if you go 3-way, so that could be a good way to do it. And if you really were feeling spicy, you could take first period and full game, get you plus 170. Not really worth it. Not great value there because first period's 140, certainly adding 30 cents to it. So that's a great first play. Boston Bruins first period plus 140. Fleury's in net for the Wild. He was supposed to start last night. He was even in warm-up, so I posted that in the Discord as well. Game start, he's not in net, but he's expected to go tonight. He's been, subpar for the Wild this season. Not very impressive stats. Let me pull those up real quick just so you know I'm not making stuff up. His record's bad too, if I'm not mistaken. He is 4-5 with 2 overtime L's. Last 3 games, 4 to Edmonton, 1 to Chicago, 4 to Toronto, 8 to Dallas, 4 to the Rangers. So, he's sucking, to say the least. Expect Boston to jump on them early. Love that first period play. So I'll throw that. That one is not up on the sheet yet, because I didn't have a line last night, but that will be added, especially with those odds. So for those of you that are new, this is Nuke the House. Everything we do is completely free. We got some of the best guys in the game handicapping, and it's all for free. So check out the Twitter at Nuke the House. Come join the Discord, and on our site, you can we have a sheet where everyone is posting their daily picks. So if you ain't got time to watch the show, you can always just jump in there, see what I like, and bet from there. So Boston first period, that's money, and then I mean, I don't mind the puck line, but it's only plus 122, so I just don't feel like there's not great value in that. Like they should smash, but I mean, when you not doing much better than even money for Boston to win by two. What's the regulation? Regulation minus 130. Yeah. So wouldn't blame anyone. Maybe add the money line. Or, I don't know. Not even let's say do a parlay, but wouldn't blame anyone for taking the puck line. However, best value to be had is certainly on that first period play. So I'll add that to the sheet after this. The next game that caught my attention was the Columbus Blue Jackets visiting the Buffalo Sabres. Sabres have been terrible, to say the least. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They're at the bottom of the Metro Division, but they have 2 days off. Oh, sorry. Nope. Hold on. My thing just froze. What was I looking at? Sorry about that. They've lost 7. Buffalo's lost 7 of their last 10 games, but they have a nice spot here taking on the Blue Jackets that are 10-17-5. Columbus, so they've been a complete wild card this season. They're at the bottom of the Metro Division, but they have some impressive wins. I mean, just looking at their last 10, they've beaten Toronto, Boston. They took the Kings to overtime, so you really never know what you're going to get out of them. Like they'll lose to the worst of them, but then they'll beat a team like Boston. It's pretty weird. So because of that, I wouldn't dare take a side here. Like I said, it should be smash spot to Buffalo. They're heavily favored. That line has jumped even since last night. But what I do like is the over 6.5 goals. That line has moved up a good bit as two from last night. So again, if you're plugged in and Nuke the House, you're checking the sheet. I posted all my plays last night. So a lot of the times too, you're getting better value the night before. That's one of the things about betting hockey is you can get some heavy line movement, but nothing much changes, right? So like it's a dicey game if you want to bet football like early in the week. If you want to put your bets in, like a lot can change, but there's heavy line movement, so it's a gamble to say the least. Whereas with hockey, you'll catch that line movement after the lines are posted, but like nothing crazy is going to happen. The only really variable is goalies. That's typically moves the line the most, but it's rarely shocking the news. You can normally pretty much figure out who's going to be there, and depending on the team, the effect, really, I mean, there's only a handful of teams where it makes a drastic difference if goalie one isn't in net. So in this game, though, Levi is expected for Buffalo. Elvis unconfirmed for Jackets. I don't really care who's in nets. Both these teams shoots. Both have terrible defenses. So I really love that over 6.5. If you caught it last night, it was at minus 115. I'm seeing now it's kind of moved to 120. If you want to take a stab at 7, get a little bit better value. That's your call. That's up to you. But expecting 7 goals in this game, no problem. Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, like I said, no interest in the side though, because I could see Columbus coming in here and upsetting them, but they absolutely shouldn't. Buffalo should have the firepower. They got Tage back, kind of waiting for him to get going, and you never know. He's always liable to pop off. He's kind of got his feet underneath him now. He's played a few games, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big game tonight. Not saying you should bet on that, but just furthering into the reason why I don't have an interest in playing a side. One I'm really excited about is the Las Vegas Golden Knights visiting the Carolina Hurricanes. Both these teams have burned a lot of my money this season, but we're going to try and get some of it back here. Carolina, they're just dominant at home. They own PNC Arena. Everyone who comes in there has a hard time. However, the Hurricanes are in the middle of a homestand. I'm sorry, this is their third game. This is their third game of three they had at home. They lost the first two um, against the Capitals and the Predators. So I mean, Nashville's a scrappy team. Washington's really nothing special. Um, Carolina lost to both of them in home, and both games required extra time. So, yeah, it's just ugly performance by the Hurricanes. Now they kind of got to buck that trend against the Golden Knights, a team that's been incredible this season, 21 6-5. However, they always seem to lose when I bet on them. Isn't that crazy? I mean, like of 30 games, they've lost like 10 of them, and I'm always on the losing side. Whatever. So um all this to say I like Carolina. Um I just see a bounce back spot for him here. I don't see him losing three in a row at home, and certainly losing to those subpar teams. They should smash against Vegas. I was curious who is in net. I'm not seeing. Unconfirmed. Logan Thompson expected for Vegas. I'm not sure who's going for Carolina. The lines kind of moved a little bit. Carolina was a little bit heavier favorite. I don't like a regulation win just since their last two took extra time. And that's probably the only way you're going to get value. Because minus 144 at the money line, a total. I mean, I could see this game going over. I mean, you catch in plus 110 on over 6.5. But yeah, just not quite there. I was really hoping for something closer to even money on this one, just with, um, you know, Carolina hasn't been the best this season, and Vegas, I mean, they're on a heater. They've won 5 of their last 6. Haven't played anyone too impressive, but still, they're hot. So that's just no real value there. Should be a great game. Definitely worth watching. Should be a hard fought one, but you never know if it's just going to be a defensive battle or if it is going to be a shootout. I can easily see either team winning this one, so I'm not going to have a play on that one. Apologies. I was hoping we'd have better odds to make a play. Conversely, a game with great odds is the New York Rangers heading to Toronto to take on the Leafs. The Leafs are taking on the Rangers for the second time in a week. Exactly a week ago, the Leafs crushed the Rangers 7-3, making this such an easy play. There's no way this happens again, anything close to it. Rangers are a better team. Toronto has no home ice advantage when playing at home. They're 9-4-2, so like they got a nice record at home, but it's not a difficult place to play. The Leafs, are not, it's not like Carolina. It's not like Arizona. There's just teams come in there and it's like playing on neutral territory. So having just been wrecked by them, the Rangers are the better team. Easily expect a Ranger smash spot here. Even money on the money line. That's just a beautiful play. Don't get fancy with it. Take the even money and you'll be straight. I wouldn't blame anyone though who wants to take a stab at the regular. I think it's plus 150 for Toronto to win for the Rangers to win in regulation, and it's like plus 220 on the puck line if you want to take Rangers minus 1.5. I don't hate that. If you're really, trying to juice some odds, that's a great way. But trying to build a bankroll, we just want nice, consistent wins. So I'm just going to take the Rangers money line at even money. It's a great play. Probably my favorite play of the day. Moving on from there, an intriguing game if we're looking for upsets is the St. Louis Blues visiting the Tampa Bay Lightning. St. Louis has won 2 in a row, stealing games from Ottawa and Dallas. Now they play the Lightning. Tampa is 3-2 in their last 5. And when in that stretch, they've lost to Calgary, Vancouver, and Nashville. So not, tough games, couldn't pull any of them out. However, that 5 game stretch has all been on the road. So they just closed out a 5 game road trip. They are now back home to take on a St. Louis team that's playing well, but St. Louis isn't playing well at home. So now St. Louis has to hit the road against a Tampa team that is excited to be back in Tampa. And while, looking at the numbers, you think, ooh, St. Louis is hot, Tampa's not, maybe an upset. I don't think so here. Um, being back at that home ice advantage is pretty big for Tampa. I think they'll wreck it here. Fortunately, there's no good odds on the money line of regulation, so we're going to have to go with the puck line. So Tampa Bay plus 132, minus 1.5 should be a pretty easy bet. I don't see anything crazy happening here. Tampa needs to get back on their feet, and this is the game they do it. And then finally, another one of my favorite plays comes at the end of the night. I'm going back to the well. It's been so profitable. You guys are probably tired of seeing it on the sheet. It's just very predictable, but it's winning money, and that is the Coyotes at home. They get to play Ottawa, who's one of the worst teams in the league. Ottawa has been on just one heck of a losing streak. They've lost 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. They're just getting beat up on this road trip. They can't wait to get back home after this. They got to go to Colorado, though. So they're probably going to lose all 5 games of this road trip. Arizona, they won their last 2 games at home. Their last 2 games, which have been at home. They got another smash spot here. I don't know why Ottawa is a slight favorite here. It really doesn't make much sense. Ingram will be going for the Coyotes. Forsberg expected for Ottawa. I mean, just hammer it. Hammer Arizona, minus 105 on the money line. Another one, don't get fancy with it. No need to go for the regulation. Just take that basically even money and run it to the bank. Those are my plays, y'all. Not too lively in the chat. I understand it's a little bit. I forgot to post this last night that I was doing a show. So, however, if you got any questions about the slate, about my picks, about games I didn't talk about, feel free to jump onto Twitter at Daddy Zargs. You can hit me up, and also in the Nuke the House Discord. So go to at Nuke the House. Come join the Discord. A lot of great guys in there. I've been terrible about checking it. I'm doing a lot better, though. I got my notifications fixed. So feel free to jump in there, hit me up, ask me a question. Tons of other guys who love to talk hockey as well. I think I'm going to start doing these shows every Tuesday and Thursday now. It's been difficult for me just because I got a daughter and I'm solely responsible for her in the mornings. So normally having a set time to do this just hasn't worked for me. So now I'm just going to kind of do it like this, anywhere from like 10 to 12 Eastern. I'll just hop on and do them. So, but at least if you're following me on Twitter, you'll get the notifications, or you can just watch it after the fact and just know every Tuesdays and Thursdays by 1 o'clock Eastern, show will be up. And yeah, those are my plays, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, please feel free to hit me up with any questions. Always happy to talk hockey, or kind of give a thumbs up, thumbs down if you're on the fence about a bet. We're moving into the heart of the season, which I'm very excited about. It's kind of been an odd year. It's been a little bit more challenging to handicap, and so early on in the season without much data to go off of has been a little bit challenging. I've been able to keep us at about 500, so no one should be losing too much money. And then now that we have a good feel for the season, we can really start rolling in it. But that's all. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on Thursday.